They
Go ahead.
All
converted
right.
some shipping containers to be used for frequent homeless people in Newark Penn Station. And anybody who's been to Newark Penn Station knows that there's a serious homeless issue. Like
Yes,
it
been
doesn't
for
take an hour to
decades.
know that.
For
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
decades.
So
I
Newark
have family
homelessness.
members who spend time in Penn Station. Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Just
So
driving
I
past
just
it. Okay.
oh yeah, just driving past it. No, seriously, it's one of
Yeah.
the like I'll even just give like my own experience. I traveled. I'm from Maplewood and from Trenton. I went to TC&J, to Trenton State College, if people don't remember what it was. So I went from Trenton to South Orange all the time. So I took Newark. I was in Newark Penn Station all the time, all the way in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. Um, it is what it will tell you. The Port Authority and that will tell you how bad the homeless problem is for the rest of the country. Like
Yeah.
it, if you can't solve a problem right in a metro area, that'll tell you how bad the problem is for everywhere else.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, when you think of the homeless problem in California right now, Los Angeles is, or actually, an old friend of mine was killed a few days ago by a homeless
Mm.
man who jacked somebody out of their car, jumped in the truck, and just sped off, hit my guy who was standing still at the light on his bike, and then dragged him, smashed him, got out the car, goes in the alley. There's a camera footage of him changing clothes and then walking away. Now, mental health is crazy, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
mental health in America, there's levels to this.
Yep.
There's millions of people walking around mentally unhealthy, like really bad, severe mental health problems. And it's fallout from the heroin era, the crack era. You know, uh, it's just capitalism. The idea of exploitation demands that there are poor people and there are starving. Like it just demands it. Somebody's got to lose in capitalism, and we have to figure out a way to build not only a net to help people catch people, but to help people develop. Out of their mental illness, out of their trauma. You know, because it's serious. Drug addiction is serious. Alcoholism is serious. Um, there are a lot of cases where there is shelter, but because of the environment in the shelter, homeless people would rather sleep on the street. It's not safe. It's not sanitary. It's not clean. It takes money and resources to really build out those systems, to give the services to people, what people deserve. They need to get those services. Like you have to show people they're worth something and that they're valued, and that takes time over generations to really solve these problems. It's not you know, a friend of mine, Vanessa Shakur, had introduced me to a brother out of it was in the Bronx. What is his name? What is his name? But this was like 2006, 7, and they were designing canisters to reconvert into homeless housing for homeless people. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and what they were doing with it then, I was amazed. I wasn't aware of what they were doing in Newark. It's news to me. Thank you for putting me on. So I don't really have an opinion about that. I would have to actually see it in person to really give an honest opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
we have to figure out how to solve the homeless problem. And I know that Penn Station for decades has been, a central place for the transient in the Essex County area to come. Like I said, I've had, unfortunately, family members who've had to use Penn Station to shelter for time, at times. And if you're not qualified and trained to deal with mental illness, it's really hard to deal with people who are mentally ill. It's hard.
Yes.
It's difficult. I don't. I don't want to give her, oh, we need to. It's like, man, like where do you start? There's so many levels to this thing, you know. But
Yeah.
first and foremost, people have to heal, so you can have clarity of mind, so you can see. I have a childhood friend of mine. I haven't seen him in years. Another childhood friend who works for New Jersey Transit calls me. Yo, Hakeem, I just ran into so-and-so. Yo, man, if you saw him, it hurt your heart. It will hurt your heart. And I already know what that is because of my experience with, like, you know, it's real. it ain't even like, you know, like something like that. That's not like outside. I know what that is. I know what that is. But I also know what it takes to, you know, really address that issue. And, you know, so I don't know. What do you guys think about what they're doing with these canisters, the makeshift shelters?
I think
can I show you something?
Please go.
This is what
Yes.
let me see for sure. This is what they were gonna do in 2015 or something like that. They wanted to make this condos type of thing. They make them look like that, I'm cool with it. If they make them like a little cheap little like cage type of thing, like, you know, I don't
it's not fresh.
like they're gonna have to put like a really nice effort and like actually show that they're putting it together and they care about it. And if they do that, then I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? But if they do something like half-ass, like, you know, budgetary, like, oh, you know, it doesn't have this, and, you know, and make excuses for whatever, you know, then I might have an issue. But that's the only thing that would give me any type of drawback regarding anything. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Like, what do you feel on it?
I was going to just give more info. It's a generally good thing. I will tell you, the shipping containers site is slated to open in early February and will include 3 single bathrooms and shower units for about 36 people, I believe is the number that they had. So meals, transportation, mental and substance abuse services will be provided. Said Hoyt is, I watched the interview that Hoyt did. She was basically doing it in like a Zoom conference with everyone. They seem to genuinely care about people, but they're also using a California-based Homes for the Homeless to partner with for the project. So yes, I have the hopes that it'll look like what you just saw, like what you just put up.
I hope so.
And that's my only. Yeah, as long as it looks like that, I'm all for it. Honestly, though, everybody deserves to have some place to take a shower. Just use the bathroom. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, it's it seems so easy.
That's my shit, right? My shit is like, you're good if you have a clean place to take a shower and a shit.
Yep.
If you have a nice, sanitary, clean, safe environment to take a shower and a shit, you can feed yourself, sleep, safe, sound. You know, that satisfies that, and then you can move on and think about other things. If we don't get that mental health, that drug addiction, alcoholism, just that human development part attached to it, you can take the people out the ghetto. But you can't take the ghetto out the people. You gotta take the ghetto out. You gotta, because they'll tear it down. You be like, man, this was nice years ago.
I almost hate to say it, but like, because I hate the word ghetto as a negative term, but like, you got to teach the ghetto out of people, and I hate that. It's like, it's not really teaching somebody to be not ghetto. It's like teaching them natural things that they should know how to be. But what is the ghetto, right?
What is the ghetto? What does the word ghetto come
from? You want me to talk about it? The ghetto comes from a negative connotation. No, but it's a negative connotation made from the Jim Crow era to basically show that black areas are.
That's not where the word ghetto comes from. It's not where the word ghetto comes from.
Go ahead.
Word ghetto comes from Germany. They grouped the Jews in the ghettos. Those are the first ghettos, were European Jews. And also the first projects were with European Jews. They were housed
European Jews. That's true.
Yeah. So the project is a project. The projects are a project. And the ghetto is something that's a negative thing. Now, the neighborhood you live in doesn't have to be a ghetto. Doesn't have to be like
Exactly.
just because it's
Right.
all black people there. All black people don't live in the ghetto. Like there are
Thank you.
lots of neighborhoods around America where it's majority black people, black city government, black, and they're not ghettos. So it's not black itself doesn't mean ghetto. Ghetto is something that's a negative thing that poor people have been pushed into, and it just so happens that the narrative is that black people live in the ghettos, but trailer parks are ghettos too.
Yep.
Black
Yes, thank you.
Right.
I'm one of those brothers who goes to the South, so I've met some redneck motherfuckers, so I understand.
Yeah. How do you feel about the school systems and everything? Like, do you think things are getting better, like education wise? Do you think more opportunities are being presented in East Orange?
After 4 years of Betsy DeVos, nah, this shit's fucked up.
It's fucked up, right? Yeah.
It's fucked up, right? And then even before her with the fucking core curriculum shit, like they tried to get us advanced. Like even when you look at India, for instance, India, I was watching this shit. They had these Indian kids doing like complex mathematics like this, like coming up with the answer like that on their fingers, like that.
Yeah.
There's like, you know, different ways of doing different things.
Yeah.
That
different algorithms and programs, right? Like ways of
right. So other communities is kicking Americans' ass. Like this is a world. It's a world thing we're doing right now. This is not. We look at each other as the competition, and the competition is India, Africa, China, where they can pay people less and people are smarter. And Americans haven't figured that out yet. So with Obama, they was trying to get us on a level where we could compete with and we just like, fuck that shit. Come on, man. I just want to carry the one. I don't want to do this all this other shit. Right?
Yep. Parents are tight too.
Teaching, different ways of coming to conclusions, different ways of understanding. America has got to figure out how to educate us and not indoctrinate us.
Nope.
I am one of those people. No, you're. I hate standardization. The standardization of America, especially. I remember being in high school and being like, "This is bullshit." I had already taken the SATs when I was younger, and I took it again, and I got like 200 points higher without trying, because you just learn how to take a test. If you're just learning how to take a test, it doesn't influence the way that you actually learn to adapt to society. It only teaches you how to know.
Conform.
Maybe conform.
There's this educational theorist named John Gatto, Gatto. He breaks down where we get our educational system from. We got it from the Prussians, and the reason why the Prussians have the educational system they have is because they got their asses kicked at one point by the French. So the king of Prussia wanted to know, why do we lose? And the answer was, because you had too many free thinkers, right? So they had to devise a way to get Prussians to be on, like when I pull the lever, you're going to fucking do what you got to do. And you're not going to think outside the box, right? So the educational system was so when you look at all the early college professors in America, like the Harvard and the Yales and like the early, the 1800s, they all studied in Prussia. They all got their pedagogy and their, educational theory. All that shit comes from Prussia, which is creating robots that when we tell you to go to war, you'll just go. You won't think. So
that's capitalism too. A lot of the stuff in this country, you look at the way that people are being controlled. It's like sometimes you ask yourself, like, how are they fall for it? It's like they're all getting programmed somehow, man. A lot of people in this country have been programmed to think that the Democratic Party's got my best interest. No, they don't. The Republican Party, no. I mean, one's better than the other, but that's just about it. I could tell you a lot of faults in both of them. You know what I mean? Like, if people aren't willing to do community-driven stuff, then I have a problem with it. A lot of people, they've convinced people of color and other, nationalities to not trust themselves within their, like their groups of people, like, blacks with blacks, Spanish with Spanish, blacks in Spanish, like whatever it is. They have this distrust, but, in other, like the whites and the and to some degree Asians and certain people, they tend to be able to work together. The Jewish people tend to work together, but not too many.
Go
ahead, talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, you go.
45. I gotta go, and I got to rhyme.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. 8:45. I
gotta
go.
Man.
I gotta rhyme. But we gotta watch how we say, "Oh, Chinese people and Jewish people and so they work together." Because when you get into their community, when you might. And we looking at them at the macro, but when you get into the micro, they be having the same issues we have. They just don't talk about it like we talk about it.
Yeah,
but that's another story.
Yeah, that's a good look because honestly, I didn't think of it from that perspective.
And I will talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, but I gotta
because
I gotta go. I gotta
all right, my brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being with us.
I'll send you a link later, man.
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh, you want to rhyme? Oh, I thought you was rhyming somewhere else because you said you had to go. Oh, go ahead. Come on, bro.
I gotta rhyme and then I gotta go.
Okay, go ahead, my brother.
Hip hop is in the building.